All right, coming up next, 25th anniversary tribute to Dr. King. Please welcome David Anthony Johnson.
It was August 28, 1963, at the Lincoln Memorial, Washington, D.C. More than 250,000 in attendance. Dr. King's I Have a Dream speech. And it went a little bit like this. 50 years ago, a great man in whose symbolic shadow we stand today signed the Emancipation Proclamation.
Come on now. Come on.
This momentous decree came as a great beacon light of hope to the millions of Negro slaves that had been seared in the withering flames of injustice. Came as a joyous daybreak when the long night of their captivity. But 100 years later, the Negro still is not free. 100 years later, life of the Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination. 100 years later, the Negro lives on a lonely island of poverty, in the midst of the vast ocean of material prosperity. 100 years later, the life of the Negro is still languished in the corners of American society, and he finds himself in exile in his own land. So we've come here today to dramatize a very shameful condition. In a sense, we've come to our nation's capital to cast a check. The great architects of our republic wrote the magnificent words of the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. They were signing a promissory note to which every American was to fall out. This note was a promise that all men, yes, black men as well as white men, be guaranteed the inalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It is obvious today that America has defaulted on its promissory note insofar as its citizens of color are concerned. Instead of honoring this sacred obligation, America is giving the Negro people a bad check, a check which has come back marked insufficient funds.
Well, come on now.
We refuse to believe that the Bank of Justice is bankrupt.
Yeah.
We refuse to believe that there are insufficient funds in the great vaults of opportunity of this nation. So we've come to cash a check that will give us upon demand the riches of freedom and the security of justice.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We have also come to this house to remind America of the fierce urgency of life. This is no time to engage in the luxury of cooling off or to take the tranquilizing drug of gradualism. Now is the time to make real the promises of democracy. Now is the time to rise from the dark, desolate valleys of segregation to the sunlit path of racial justice. Now is make justice a reality for all God's children. Oh, I say to you today, my friend, even though we face the difficulty of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream.
We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal.
I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners one day be able to sit down together at the table of justice. I have a dream.
Come on now. Work it. Come on now.
One day, state of Mississippi, state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, one day be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day my poor little children one day be able to live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream that down in Alabama, with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification. Right there in Alabama, little black boys and little black girls one day be able to join hands with little white boys and little white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today. I have a dream that the valley will be exalted. Every hill and mountain will be made low, the rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it. This is our hope. This is the faith that I go back to the South with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to walk together, to pray together, to go to jail together, to struggle together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. This will be the day. This will be the day when we can sing with the meaning. My country, 'tis of thee.
Come on now. Work it.
Sweet land of liberty of the ocean.
Yeah.
Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrims' pride. From every mountainside that freedom ring. And if America's to be a great nation, this must become true. So let freedom ring.
Yeah.
From the prodigious hilltops of the Macha, let freedom ring. From the mighty mountains of New York, let freedom ring. From the Highland Alleghanies of Pennsylvania,
Come on now.
let freedom ring. From the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado, let freedom ring. From the curvaceous slopes of California. Not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi, from every mountainside and windy side. When we allow freedom to ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last. Thank you.
for love.